So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And this is something that everyone needs to know. At least everyone in crypto is taking this thing a little bit seriously, because ultimately now is more important than ever. We get some of these things I'm going to talk to you guys about today. Now, this isn't a rant video. This is most definitely me trying to talk to you on a human level, okay? Because the thing with 99% of us ultimately, and unfortunately, is that we do tend to disregard advice from people who've been there and done that before because, well, ignorance, possibly, or you're like myself and you have to learn yourself. You can't take someone's advice unless you deem them an expert or you really look up to them, for example, right? And I hope some of you do that with me, but you're still going to have the odd person not even paying attention to the stuff I say, or other influencers or other people who call themselves experts, and there are many of them out there in crypto. So again, I want to touch on 4 things today that, again, resonate with that introduction statement, right? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail, okay? And trust me right now, the reason why I'm bringing this video out is because of the recent pump in the market that goes to show, guys, crypto moves quickly, and unless you have a plan, it can all be over in a split second or a split hour, especially if you are someone who is sleeping. Crypto is 24/7. So without further ado, I want to get into the first topic. Now, I'm not ranking these in any sort of order, but I want you to sit down, grab a nice cup of something. Now, for me, I got a cup of coffee I've been sipping on the whole day. It's cold as hell right now, and you'll notice my cup's quite disgusting. Yes, I barely wash it. I like to think that maybe just like gray hairs, the darker the cup gets, the wiser I become. Either way, all jokes aside, that's what I'm drinking. Sit down, pay attention, because again, you need to hear this. Number 1, FOMO. Guys, why it's so important now, again, more than ever, to realize that FOMO is a killer of your gains, your portfolio. It really is. Why? Well, because again, just like this recent pump, and like I've seen many people say to me before in smaller pumps with individual altcoins during the last bear market, Karen, do I buy now? FOMO stands for fear of missing out. If you fear or feel like you're missing out on gains because the price is going up on probably an altcoin that you want to buy in on, or it's an altcoin that you have been, but you haven't put your whole positions in, you got to stop that stuff. You really have to stop it. Why is it so important? Because you'll end up buying at times that aren't suitable for you as an investor. Remind yourself that. When I first got into banking, I did quite bad. It was fresh out of school, didn't know even what interest really was. And so anyway, I had my regional manager come in one day, and obviously they're having a talk to everyone, quarterly meetings, and they said to me, Kara, you know, do you consider yourself a banker? I hadn't thought of that before, and I got stumped, and I thought, not really, no, not at this stage, I'm not a banker. And she said to me, well, you are a banker. You're a banker, that's what you do, right? Even no matter how early you are, you're in this industry now. And I kind of want to resonate that with you guys. Like, you may not think of yourself as an investor. You may not deem what you're doing as important or critical. But remember, you're putting money you kind of trade time with into the market for an expectation of profit. That is an investor, okay? And you're making an informed judgment. So why I'm kind of rambling here is I just want to remind you guys, you're an investor, make calculated decisions. FOMO is not a calculated decision. FOMO is always an emotion. Robots don't face that. Be a robot, okay? And this is why it's very important to have all your buy levels already in place, all right? It's very, very important so you know exactly when you should be buying and when you can be selling. Simple as that. If it doesn't reach those levels, well, guess what? On to the next altcoin or wait for a retracement. Retracements do happen. And this always comes back to one thing I say, which is find your initial investment level or initial investment out level. So that might be a 7x, a 10x, a 20x from where we are right now. And so what I always talk about to solve this issue is finding your initial investment out level, right? So for a project like Near Protocol, it might be $7. Since we're at $1 now, are you okay and comfortable with the 7x on your portfolio if everything goes to shit? If you are, then Near Protocol at $1 is the right choice for you. If you want 14x and you find that 50-cent level, if that's not still happy, chances are Near won't fall below that, so you find a new altcoin, so on and so forth. And the number 2 thing we all have to really know, and I guess this kind of falls in line with FOMO, but it's taking profits. It's almost fear of missing out reverse to fear of not getting the most out of the market, right? And so taking profits is integral. It's something I talk about all the time. Exit strategies, right? But there's more to the story. I want to quickly tell you about a call I had recently with someone who purchased a one-on-one call with me. Purchased a one-on-one call, we got on a call and he showed me his portfolio. He said, I have X amount of money to invest. We're putting it in today. It was kind of crazy. He had a fair bit of money to put in, and so it was about $60,000, $70,000. And we chose a few altcoins. We went extra heavy into Chainlink. Anyway, he ended up profiting in a few days, $20,000. Quite crazy, right? And it reminded me, well, I'm not too sure in that particular case if he decided to sell some or take some profits, but it's important that we recognize we're going to have these massive swings and random swings, okay? Just like in the Chainlink example, no one could have predicted that happened, right? Yes, it was somewhat of a fluke. Obviously, Chainlink's a good project. I didn't know it was going to pump so quickly. But again, if it happened now or if it happened in 12 months' time, it was going to still pump. And so when you guys have these profits come in, $20,000, $40,000, $100,000, yes, that can even happen for some of you who may put $1,000 in, $500 in. It can happen and it will happen, right? You've got to think to yourself, am I going to take profit at a good or a bad time here? For example, in this person's situation, he could definitely take some money off the top because he's waiting for a retracement, right? But again, kind of where I'm swaying this to is an overall exit strategy, okay? It is absolutely paramount. This is more important than you damn buying into the project in the first place. Doesn't really make sense, right? You can't exit if you don't buy in, but you guys know what I mean. It's damn important because if you don't stagger a ladder sell strategy and you don't do so in the safest possible way and you try time the top or you think you're a magician, you think you can beat the market, you won't. Why? Because your emotions will get involved. And just like in this case with this subscriber, I'm not too sure if he had sold, right? But in the case of, I can say most people, they would feel like they should be selling. And when is the right time to sell? Well, in my opinion, ultimately, we're investors, right? We should be waiting for those key price levels in the bull run. And if you want to take any sort of profits and reinvest, that's fine. Just have a plan to do so. Okay, so that's number 2. This next one, guys, it puts a smile on my face because it was definitely me in the last bull run, right? And it's mental gymnastics. I know, this sounds crazy. And I guess I'm happy to say that for some of you who disregard this, and I really do mean this, I'm happy to say that you're all going to figure out the hard way in the bull run. And you'd be like me, preaching to other people. It's just this vicious cycle, right? But mental gymnastics is important. Why is it important? Because you are going to be put through the ringer, through the absolute washing machine in the bull run, because we've seen, again, just off the last day or two, the explosive potential the market can have. Now imagine this every single day. Rest periods for some, continues up the next day. These things happen, right? And you're gonna feel, and trust me when I say this, you're gonna feel like you're on top of the world, right? You're gonna check your portfolio all the time. You're going to be trying to borrow money from every which way, even take out loans. So scary, because the ultimate thing is, the way that I used to perceive it inadvertently was almost like if you gave a gambler a guarantee, hey mate, you got a 75% chance that this slot machine is going to win. What's that gambler gonna do? That serious gambler? They're gonna take out all the loans possible. They're gonna tell their friends and loan sharks, guys, there's more of a chance I win on this. Little does he know, unexpectedly one day, that 25% is going to eat away his 75%, all of his gains, and then you're left really in the shitter, okay? So this is why I say it's very important to plan. The more you decide to plan, and going back to my previous 2 points, entry levels and exit levels, you're going to be so much more restful at night. You're going to be much more clear thinking, and that way, when it does come time to the crunch moments, like in this case with the previous subscriber, you know, taking out 20,000 profit to do what he might want to do with that, well then he can, or you can, right? It's very important we analyze this and stay ahead of the market, and at least, again, plan as much as we can. That way we never come into a situation where we're making a bad judgment. And I want to double up on the planning, right? Now I think what you guys have to actually plan for here is retracements. Because one thing we always see is the green days, the green days, the green days. I mean, this is why I'm so happy and excited today, because we're having green. Yes, I admit I prefer red days. I can buy more altcoins, but you do get this surge of energy. We've seen red the last 2 years. It's great to see some green, but you're going to see more red, even in the bull run. Or you look on the daily charts or the weekly charts on, on the whole crypto market, and you see green, 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 green. But what you don't see when you zoom in is the red, the retracements, the hours, the, whatever, 4 hourly, 8 hourly, days that come down red. Okay, these happen. And it's very important we expect those and have capital ready to put in, okay? Because it's something that most people don't think of, but they do happen. Yes, I admit, when we look at the grand crypto market, we're up, the retracement's small. Like we could have bought down here. But if you look into individual altcoins, some of these altcoins drop back down to similar prices they were when you could buy now. Okay, temporarily, yes, but you've got to be prepared on an individual altcoin level, and that kind of ties into research. And research on that is my fourth point, and it's super important. You guys have heard me a million times say 5 to 10 minutes per day per project, and that isn't just skimming articles. You've got to read here. You've got to actually read what the fine print is saying, and then you might find connections. You'll, one, understand more about your altcoin, and two, you'll actually understand more about the mass market itself. The more you know, the less you know in a way, but the more you know, you do become more acute to small little nuanced things that happen with the altcoin of the market, and that you can pick up on a situation that happens before it does, positive or negative outcome in the end, okay? So it's very important you do so 5 to 10 minutes. How do you manage 5 to 10 minutes per altcoin, right? If you have a busy schedule, friends, family, whatever it might be, you could be a cypher like what I did. I did something that's probably arguably extremely unhealthy for a human being, and that's I stopped communication with my friends. Not like, you know, fuck you guys, I'm not going to talk to anyone, but I just stopped hanging out with people, therefore stopped getting invited to things, and fair enough, right? Because I was so engrossed in my work. Also, you know, stopped doing, you know, fun things for myself, you know, sporting activities. I didn't go to gym for voluntarily over 12 months. I think it was 15 or 18 months while I was trying to build my channel, right? And, you know, engrossed in crypto, in work, in leisure. And so you kind of get into those points, but the alternative here is to just keep those things going, but stay up a little bit later at night or wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. And I don't want to hear from anyone. I can't do that. I can't do that. Because while it's not healthy to get 6 hours or less sleep, most of you are probably getting 8 to 9 to 10 hours sleep, maybe even some of you freaks 12 hours sleep. You can't be doing that. You sleep your life away. I don't want to sound like your grandparent here, right? Your mom, your dad, your grandmother. But I want to make it a point that no one has any excuse not to do the research every day. If you can't fit in, again, 5 to 10 minutes worth of research, that is per altcoin, either you have too many altcoins or you're just not putting the work in, right? And again, it all comes back down to, like, why would I even say these things? For your benefit. It all comes down to your benefit. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to do the research. But like my friend, and I will tell this story yet again, my friend relied on me in the last bull run for research. He wasn't interested in crypto. He wanted to be exposed to it. Like many of us probably know people that do that as well. Maybe you do. And what happened? Well, he relied on me solely for his research, solely for updates. And of course, he didn't want to spend the time himself. He's, Kyron, I got to get my 8 hours sleep in. He was a health freak. Got to get my 8 hours sleep in every night. I got to do this between gym and work and too busy. I kept trying to push him anyway. So long story short, I pushed him, and he just didn't listen. And so of course, what do you do in life? Well, what comes first? You should always come first more than anyone else. And of course, I was head over heels involved in my own research. Sometimes, most of the time, I would forget to update him. When that happened, or whether it was late at night, 9, 10 o'clock at night, he wasn't awake, and he ended up paying the cost, right? He didn't make any, he actually lost all the money he put in, and still holds those bags. And nevertheless, it's a very important story to tell, because again, it's one of those things that you have to experience sometimes to understand, hey, I effed up here, my fault, but again, we can't be doing this. In the 2025 bull run, guys, you can't learn the hard way. This might be our last, and I strongly do believe with all my soul and heart, as much as I love this industry, I think this is the last one we got. The real true last one. 2030, we're not going to have a bull run. It's probably going to be pushed, and there's a whole new story there as well. So guys, please pay attention to these points. If you've made it this far, I would love if you liked the video. More importantly, share it with people that need to hear this. Force them to watch it. If you have the Mr. Bean toothpicks in their eye, you got to do that, okay? Anyway, guys, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you all. Talk soon. Bye.